I have a TV right here. I don't know if I've shown you guys my setup down here in this studio. I need to show you guys some of this stuff. That's my TV. This TV got relegated. This is one of the early flat screen TVs. It's not as thin as the newer ones. It's probably about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I figure the length of that. So that's 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 inches thick. And this was like, I purchased that back in, let's see, I would say 2004 or 2005. So it's about 10, 11 years old. So it's like old technology, but it works. I have an Apple TV hooked up to it down here. I got that off of Amazon a while back. Let me move this bench so I can put the camera down. That's my Apple TV right here. And I hooked it up by HDMI cable. And I use that. I have like a small remote. I have the one that you put on like your phone and so forth, but this is the remote that I use. That's the Apple remote, works great. There's the TV there, there's the bike. So I sit, of course, here. This goes, you have to see between here. This goes right here. And move it back. The bike is kind of blocking it. But if you see my hand right here, I lay this right down here so that when I'm on the bike, I can just reach over and pick this up. I also keep my phone right there. So this whole area here, let me bring the camera over here. I can show you so this area right here is almost like a little mini desk. So this is the controller for the TV to turn it on and off. This works a fan. I've got a fan in that corner. I got a fan down here. I'm showing you guys my setup just in case you want to replicate or copy some of these. I've got what they call them, Vornado floor fan right here that blows up at me. It's tilted at an angle to blow up into my face and my torso. Then I have this fan. Let's see, in that corner. I hope you can see it very well. Let me move the camera over here. Probably see it better. There, see that skinny fan over there? I use this remote. Let's see. And in the corner there spins. Let me move this back this way. You get a shot of the whole room. So you see that fan in the corner there oscillates and keeps the air moving. I've got a fan in front of the bike, down on the floor. This one over here. I've got that one blowing at me. I got that one in the corner. Then I've got the overhead fan. I'll turn that on. There it is. So I got 3 fans going. It's not necessary to have that many fans, but I tell you what, guys, when I turn these guys on, it's like I'm sitting at the beach. And I've got air just around. So it's very comfortable. This fan on the floor here has 3 speeds. If I put it on the top speed and I'm trying to make a video or something, that's all you hear is the fan. I have to like do reduced background noise and all that. So I don't do that. So I put it on like level 2, which is very nice. But when I turn on these 3, it just keeps the air flowing here really nice. And then I leave the doors open. But it keeps it comfortable. It doesn't matter how hot or cold it is outside. Even when I have the heat on, I reverse the blades at the top so it keeps the heat circulated if it's cold down here. But most of the time, I don't really need anything on when it's hot. So I'm not sure how I got into sharing with you guys, but I just wanted you to kind of see how the room is set up. So let me put this over here. This is the view you guys are used to. The banner's gone. My buddy, my hero Merckx is there. I'm still looking for a good Le Mans poster to get, to just put alongside Merckx. And I'm thinking that right about here would be perfect. Find one to put a Greg LeMond poster there. And Andy Hampsten also, I like him. Look for some of his posters. These little projects that keep us going, So, that's the beauty about life. Every day you get up, you want to have stuff to do. That's why I always tell my wife, I don't like for people to call and say, hey, you want to go there? You want to go do this? You want to go? I already got a full schedule. So you got to give me some notice. You know, I got a million things I can't get to. But anyhow, I digress. But so right next to, let me move this banner. I think it's kind of in the way. So this is my little portable desk here. This thing holds all the little tools that I use most frequently. They sit in these drawers, so I can reach for them when I'm fiddling around with bikes on here. My extra tools are in this. Let me move the camera. Right there. See that rack on the stand? I've got a few, just mostly lubricants and lubes and other stuff. I'm working on the bike, they're on there. But I keep a lot of the loose tools in those drawers. They're very well organized. I don't have to remember where they are. I just go in here. I got all the main stuff in here, and they have this drawer, this tray has wheels on it. It was designed to hold computer discs. In my IT background, I used to use that to hold discs and CDs and all that stuff. And once everything started going digital, it got relegated to other uses. So I've decided to use it to hold my tools because it has compartments in there that you can put little slots. Anyway, but that's why I keep everything. I got to figure out why this remote is not functioning. But because I use it on the bike, I control that fan from here. And already, I mean, you can see. So this is my setup. So when I'm down here, you want something to take your mind off of the boredom of an indoor workout. So that's what that console is. And in this console, I've got all my spare tubes and tires and everything down there in those drawers. That may be another video for that. But all my parts that I use, the things that wear out, I get them when they're cheap and I store them in here. Up here I got some tools like socket wrenches and stuff up in this compartment, my tape and vinyl tapes and different things. And I've got an old VCR back in the day when I used to run those old cycling videos and stuff. Nowadays everything's CD, DVD-ROM and digital, basically a hard drive. But I rarely use this stuff. I use that to display the clock more than anything. And then up here I've got some spare stems and stuff. I've got a parts bin, that box up here. I have extra parts stored in there. This little cooler is what I use to carry drinks and stuff, little bag up here. When I go to races and stuff or rides that I'm driving to, I just threw up my mud guards up here on top of this. This little bin, I keep stuff when I'm selling them on eBay. If I list them, I put them over here so I remember not to use them. And then I've got some extra lubes and leather cleaners, leather polisher. I put a lot of these kind of solvent-based stuff up here so my girls don't mess with them, because they come in here when I'm not here. So I make sure everything's out of the way. They're not that bad about it, but with kids, you want to keep it out of their reach. So the things that I really do care about, I make sure they can't get to it. All the little tools and stuff in there, they can't hurt themselves with it. They're all socket wrenches and stuff, nothing sharp. I don't leave anything sharp within their reach. But this is the studio. This is where I conduct business. This is where I do fits. So when I'm doing somebody's fit, I have these cards that I record all their data on here, index cards. Then once we're happy, I put it in an Excel spreadsheet. When they're completed, they're happy with it, I email it to them. They have their specs. And then now they know, what their measurements are and everything, and they can fit themselves to multiple bikes. Let me put this bench back here. This is the bench I sit on when I'm getting ready. But that's it in a nutshell, guys. So I was going to ride, and my body was like tired, and so what I'm trying to get to today is, if you ever have a situation where you're planning to do something and you just didn't get up, your body needed that rest. Because I feel great now. It's like I'm back on schedule. Because being deprived of sleep, whether it's your choice, like I did on Thursday night, it's not really good for the body. You just feel a general malaise and tiredness the whole next day. It was just hard for me. I had the time to go back to sleep. I just couldn't. That's why I made the other video there about the vloggers. And then I went on, I started doing other things. And before I knew it, it was like late in the day. I had to pick up the girls from school. So I went back into my normal routine, even though I had not slept much. But the 15 minutes of sleep felt like maybe an hour and a half or two. It was like really heavy, deep sleep. So, and I usually don't have trouble sleeping. It's just that when my brain is wound up, it's hard for me to detune and go down. So I missed the group ride. Paul actually sent me a text from the stop, and we communicated, and I told him what had happened. And he said, oh, it's windy out here. And then Alan made a joke, well, you shouldn't be missing out. So I went ahead and used that time to figure out, before I started making this video, how to do time lapse on my GoPro. It doesn't do it very well. It does it with pictures, whereas I can do time lapse on this camera, which is real time. It doesn't do picture, it does video time lapse. And I'm kind of learning little things to enhance the production around here. I'm making a list of some additional equipment to get to kind of take us to the next level. I want to do more outside stuff, more workouts outside as opposed to just the group rides to walk you guys through. So I just, it was actually my sister that saw that banner and said, why are you advertising for Compact Nolo? And maybe down the road I should do a video about if you're on the fence about getting into this, why you should, because I was worried about it. And the very people I was worried about thinking I would be weird are now watching my videos. My sister's watching the videos, and that she was the one that said, take that banner down. They're not paying you to have their name there. You got 500 people looking at it or telling other people to share your videos. Campy needs to pay for that advert. And you know, she's more of the business side. I do this because I love it. So I didn't see that. So it made sense. I took it down, I ordered the banner, same dimensions, same everything. So it's coming down. It's gonna basically be a Velo banner. I think you guys will like it. It'll have the familiar logo on there. I hope you guys like the new logo that comes down. It's animated. I did all of that myself. That's my IT background kicking in. So I'm no designer or anything, but I have a good eye. You know, I can walk into a shopping center with my wife and pick out a dress for her from among all the crap they got out there. I have that kind of an eye. So anyway, I'll stop there. I've got a lot of things in the queue, and you guys have given tons of suggestions. So I've got to leave now and go sit at my desk and get caught up. It's Saturday morning, and there's been a lot of stuff coming in after this video about vloggers. So I'm gonna edit this one and roll it out so you guys can find out why there's no ride coming up this week. But we got many great things coming up, and next week it'll definitely be a ride. So so let me know if you want to know anything about what I covered here, like my setup, anything more detailed, because I just briefly went around everything. And the one last thing I want to show you guys is where I put my helmets. This is my wife's helmet. That's my time trial helmet. This is the Giro helmet. And the cool thing about this thing, I bought these hooks. I think I got them online. Because the local guys, they're limited in what they carry, the local hardware guys. But you can put these 1 or 2, and I think that's really neat. So I could even put 2 helmets there and do that sometimes. So you can have 2, 4, 6 helmets. Because I used to put them over here. I'm sure you guys can see that I'm into being organized. That's the way I am. It's just more efficient. I got all these little things, all these cubby holes from Walmart. You just hang them on the rack. Move the camera up. There is the regular clothes rack hanger that runs across here, and you can see these are my shorts. I put all my bib shorts on here on hangers, and they hang. And then I left this part open to where I could hang this thing on there, and I put my sunglasses are up there, and I got my heart rate monitor belt, then all my arm warmers, headgear, and other things in these little cubby holes. Move the camera down. So everything has its place. So when I need to get them, you can see my shoes are all over here. There's my shoe cubby holes, all the shoes, whether they're running shoes or cycling shoes, that go in here. And I've got these little shoe trees. I use these a lot when the shoe is new, kind of break it in so my foot doesn't have to. And then I just kind of have my lights sitting up here and just a few knickknacks. And these are all my hangers. I hang everything because I think they last longer. Some of these jerseys are 10, 15 years old, and they're great. And so I have some of those silicone packets that you get, or silicone, whatever they call them, that you get when things are shipped new. And as long as they're in a controlled environment, I think you're good. I don't think you have to have anything special. And so down on the floor over here, that's my Gatorade supply. And all in that corner, that's where I keep them. And up here, it's all the food stash. These are basically Nutri-Grain bars and stuff. They're in the boxes. I take them out of the box and I put them in here. Let me move the camera up so you can see. And I put them in there. So they're all loose. So when I'm ready to grab food, I just go in there. I've got solids there and I got gels over here. And I just grab them. That's my jump rope, and those are my cycling caps. And the wool caps are in the corner there. And those are my daughter's helmets and stuff up there. So by keeping everything organized, even if I'm making a video, in the middle of making a video, and something comes to mind, and I'm sure you guys have noticed it, and I need to reach for something, I don't have to think about where is this stuff. It's where it needs to be. I just go get it, you know. So like if I'm talking about tires, I know they're over there. Everything has its place, and it just makes sense. I hate looking for stuff, so I put it in a logical place, you know, decide, okay, this is where I dress up, it needs to be there. And so that little, I don't know if you call it a bedside drawer or whatever right here, that's my total gym machine. That's where I do my workouts, using my body weight on the total gym. But this little guy here holds all my base layers. I wear these most of the year, and I leave like lotions and stuff right up here because this is where I sit to get ready. I don't like my skin to be really dry, it gets itchy. So during the summer, I'll put on sunblock. Yeah, I'll put on sunblock, guys. It's not about black, white, whatever. That sucker down here will burn anything. I've been burned. Especially in the islands, went on a cruise and I got burned in, I don't remember whether it was Jamaica or wherever, but anyway, that sucker burned. My head was peeling. So I don't mess with the sun out here. Even in West Africa, Liberia, the sun was not as intense as it is here. I don't know what the deal is, but it's more intense. So I wear that, otherwise my skin tone goes a shade darker. I mean, I take off my shirt and my arms are a shade darker because my body darkens even more to protect the skin. And so I'm trying not to expose myself, especially on heavy UV days. Yeah, I don't want to risk getting any kind of skin cancer or anything. So I wear, this is SPF 30, and I got it because it's Hawaiian Tropic Sheer Touch. This sucker is actually one of the few ones. My wife got it and I tried it and loved it, and I had her get me one. It's not oily. It actually goes on feeling cool to the skin, so it actually feels great to put on. There's some of these so-called sports stuff out there that just don't feel as good as that. But anyway, I'm not gonna fill up your morning with all this mundane stuff, but from what I've done today, let me know if you wanna see more of these kind of things. It's kind of interesting. I have all these ideas of things I put in place. This little thing here, maybe I'll do a video about it if you guys are interested in the total gym. It's like a gym, pretty much. About the only thing I can't do are squats, but I can replicate the workout with the leg press thing over there. So that's like I have my own gym. Even though I have access to a gym, I rarely go there. I do this down here just to stay limber. I don't do it to bulk up. I do it to just build the kind of strength that you would find in a squirrel or a cheetah or a cat. Explosive stuff. That's what I do. Light, just my body weight. You can see it's all the way down. You can bring it, you can use these hooks and bring it up all the way here to make it difficult. I got it all the way down. I'm not into the difficulty, I'm into movement. Quick movement, like you watch a squirrel move. That's the kind of explosive plyometric movement. That's what I work on. So get out there. I hope you had a chance to get out, unlike me, but I will get on a trainer later. I've got this bike set up on there, and that's what I'm going to do.